Sagittarius, this is your weekly for October 20th through the 26th of 2024. If you would like to support the channel by donating, you can. I do have a Cash App tag down there below in the description. Anything that you give is not required, but it is much appreciated. And it's going towards the channel and making things a little bit better for everybody. But like I said, it is not necessary, and it is not. It would be very appreciated, but not necessary. Subscribing is always free, so if you could, please hit the subscribe button. And I need to turn that down because that is annoying me even right now. But anyway, I'm doing the weeklies a little bit different. Please remember to, and now everything that I'm doing is just disjointed and in the wrong order, so I hope that's not you this week, Sagittarius. I don't even have all the cards in the deck together. That's great. Fantastic. I was going fine, and now everything is just very disjointed. May be necessary for you to be patient with yourself and with the things around you this week, Sagittarius. Anyway, I am going to be doing the read a little bit differently as I drop all the cards. I'm already taking all of that. If you drop the ball this week, just pick it back up. Fine. Go there and be the first card then. And as it fell out, the Four of Wands in the reverse. So that is going to be your Sunday card. This could end up leading to a move because of conflict. You know what? I just got done with Capricorn, and yeah. Is that the same kind of thing if you did watch that already, or for whether you were a cross watcher or it was your sun, moon, or rising sign? I'm sorry, it just seems like it's going to be a rough week. But Sagittarius, you have a breakdown in communication, which is going to lead to you having a lack of support or feeling like you're not being supported. But it seems like stuff is going to come through for you. Surprisingly, it's not going to be what you expected, but it is going to come through. And I hate to say this, but I'm in the U.S. and this feels like it has something to do with Florida, and I don't know. It's a house upside down in the card, and how many houses were upside down in Florida recently? And probably still are in the aftermath. And you know what? I still don't think that this is perfect. This is the perfect card to have for breakdown communication, because I have not been able to get a single, like, free-flowing thought out there other than bits and pieces since I started doing the Sagittarius read. So, I'm going to be doing a card for each day. Instead of doing the 3 cards like I normally do for the week, I am doing a card for each day of the week, plus an 8th card, which is going to be what all that energy throughout the week is trying to get to. What is this week's point is trying to make? What is everything moving you towards, and what is its purpose in your life? So with the Four of Wands in reverse, you have a personal celebration, but it's something you're not going to tell anybody about. And it could be, the vibes that I'm getting is like an AA chip or an NA chip. So Alcoholics Anonymous or a Narcotics Anonymous chip of being sober for so long. And I don't even know if I can say those things on YouTube right now, but I guess we'll find out, won't we? And that could be why it is that you feel like you're not being supported. You feel like you're making a turnaround in your life, but nobody else is noticing and they're still looking at you the same way. Your house could literally be upside down because I keep seeing Florida. And this could also be you either leaving a rehab or a halfway house or something like that and not having the family support or the friend support that you were hoping to have, but you really didn't expect too much of. You're in transition, you're in moving between, we're all always moving in between stages of life, right? It's not, no one is ever a stagnant creature and no one is ever the same all the time. No one reacts or has the same kind of relationship that they have with everyone that they have with their mother. Even though it might feel like it sometimes, but you are perceived differently by every person you come in contact with, and whether or not that perception is correct or not, or is updated or not, is not your responsibility to manage. It's their job to manage their thoughts, and don't put that responsibility on yourself. It's not up to you to change how you look to them, because if it's a physical outward change, if it's, they're not likely to acknowledge it anyway. And trying to manipulate or get people to see you positively is going to do nothing but waste your time. Do what you need for you and progress on your own and work on impressing yourself. Work on meeting goals that you set and that you want to get to for you, not for anybody else, not from the reaction that you get from anybody else. And I keep making these a lot longer than I intend to. I am kind of surprised that anybody listens to them for that long, but thank you for sticking in there and hanging with the read if you're still here. So we are now moving on to, that is your Sunday card. If I didn't say that, that is your Sunday card for October 20th. And now we have Glorious Monday, the 21st of October. You have regret and failure and disappointment. This could just be because you were hoping that someone was going to be there for you and be able to support you, but they have their own thing that you realize that they've sunk into that you didn't know was wrong with them. This could be that someone is, okay, this is a very specific scene that I'm seeing. It's almost like you're getting out of rehab or some kind of support system, but then it's like your time of interment. It doesn't feel like it's present. It seems like it was necessary and that you appreciated it for some reason or in some ways, and you realize that's where you needed to be, but it's almost like you get out and then you find out that the reason why someone wasn't there for you is because they have kidney failure. And that they've been in the hospital, and and like maybe they didn't want to tell you about it because they didn't want to stress you about it whenever you were going through your treatment process, and they didn't want you to focus on what was going on with them. But for Monday, it really does seem like it is a realizing that your perception was wrong, and it's not that they weren't there, but it's because they couldn't be. And you're more disappointed in the perception that you had of that situation because you know that they would have been there for you if they were able to. For Tuesday, we have the Two of Wands, so there is an idea or a passion that you're leaving behind. There's one you're still holding on to and hoping to take with you, but in reality, you're putting it on a shelf and you're looking towards something else that you can utilize that idea to. The energy, the momentum from that idea to get you started with something else, but you're not sure. It's like you were working towards a goal and you got to the goal, like say you wanted to raise money to with a Kickstarter or with a GoFundMe to be able to move to Germany. We'll go with Germany. And you've got the money, but the reason why you're moving to Germany now is not there. Or your reason for moving isn't there, and it likely had something to do with an institution, not a person. So a college or, yeah, it sounds like it's specifically for a college or some mode of learning that you needed to move there. And now you don't need to, but you have the money, so what do you do with it? And because it wasn't necessarily earmarked specifically for that, you can use it for whatever you need to. And you're stuck kind of feeling like you're here holding all of this opportunity and all of this ability to go do things, but you don't know what to do. Like now you have if this is a rehab situation, it's almost like you get out, you have the funding that you needed, you have a stable place to be, you have a vehicle to get back and forth to work, you have a stable job, and now what do you do on your free time? Because you never had someone not expecting something from you or pushing you to do something for them, and without somebody pulling your string and saying that you have to do this, you have to do that, it's very likely that this is a military situation where you're used to taking orders all the time and not having much free thought. Just, you need to go do this. And now no one's telling you that you need to go do this. You're out of therapy and they're telling you, well, you just keep doing what you've been doing, and you're like, yeah, but what else? I hate to say it, but it's a good time to take up a hobby. And I feel bad about that because that seems to be what everybody says. Well, find something to do. And I don't know, start learning 3D modeling, start learning coding, start writing a book. If you've been through a lot in your life and even though you feel like nobody's going to read it, start writing a book, start writing things down that you went through and try to distance yourself from them, especially if you were in a lot of trauma and a lot of triggering circumstances. We'll put it that way. Don't use it as a way to fall back into old habits. Use it as a cathartic process to view yourself from a third person perspective because you're not going through that anymore. You are not the same person that you were yesterday, but you are dealing with the consequences of that person's actions. So, Anyway, as I make more half-hour readings, because we're already, what, I think 15 in? So, for Wednesday, halfway through the week, it's probably going to be half an hour, and I apologize that it's going to be so long. For Wednesday, you have somebody coming in, and it almost feels like whatever the information is, it's going to cause you to withdraw and reassert yourself within yourself. And you're going to be choosing your happiness, but it almost feels like somebody walking up to you and throwing a cold cup of water on your face. Like, oh, this is reality and I can actually see colors. And this is what people were talking about. And I can wake up in the morning and not need to do certain things. I can wake up in the morning and just get into the shower or just go use the bathroom and just go in and cook my breakfast and sit down and enjoy my meal and not listen to anybody and not deal with anybody else's problems. And it could be because you shut the ringer off on your phone, or it died and you don't even know where your phone is right now and you don't care and you haven't even realized you don't have your phone in your hand. But you're going to feel like you are miraculously disconnected from things, and if you can make it through the day, the entirety of the day feeling like that, it's just going to be like, wow, this is what freedom feels like. I think I might like that. I think I might do that again. Maybe I won't plug my phone in and turn it on. Nobody needs me right now. If they need help with something, they can get it from somebody else, or they can do it themselves. No one's knocking on my door. There's no fire sirens headed my way. Everything feels like it is a perfect day, and in the back of your head, you may be feeling like it is the calm before the storm. But if you feel like that and you can't shake the feeling, just stay in the eye. Consider the eye of the storm your third eye, and just allow that euphoria of, that's not my problem. And if it is, I'm blissfully unaware that it is, so it must not be mine. Thursday, we've got the stars, so you feel like there's some form of enlightenment going on, or rejuvenation from this detachment that you felt on Wednesday. And because you took your eye off the ball and you weren't putting a lot of pressure on it, you're finally finding that okay, bear with me whenever I say this, that I don't give a fuck attitude that you've been looking for this entire time. You don't know, you don't have anyone telling you that you need to care about this or care about that, and so your mind may have come up with things that you should care about, and your answer today just seems like it's, I don't give a fuck. And that is perfectly okay for you to feel that way. You don't need to look for solutions to problems that you don't have. So that has finally sunk in. It feels almost like you may have been through something to cause you to have complex PTSD. And you finally reached a point where it's just, I'm at a spot where I don't have to worry about that anymore. I don't have to worry about, is this going to happen? Is that going to happen? Do I need to do this? Do I need to do that? Everything is taken care of and everything is exactly where it needs to be, and you can just be you and sit in your skin and not feel like you need to crawl out of it. For Friday, we have the Knight of Wands, and you may find yourself charging in to deal with a problem that you had from a long time ago. It almost seems like you have therapy on Sunday, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday. You may have therapy on Friday, and you're able to go confront that problem and deal with it with your inner child, and you're not afraid of the answers that you get. You're not afraid of telling your therapist about it, and don't give that information to anybody else that doesn't need to have it. And you can actually slay some of those monsters that you weren't able to before. Why does it feel like I have something that's flipped over in the deck and then I can never find it? This could also be that you are going back to try and find an answer, and you're going to find the answer, and if you don't find it this time, then you're going to let it go. But you're not going to be afraid to ask questions, and it doesn't seem like it is demanding, like, and by all means, do not do this. Do not do this. You're not pointing a gun at someone and demanding the answers that you want to hear. It's like you're going to possibly confront somebody or confront yourself. It really feels like you're going back in time in your head and talking to your inner child to say, okay, what really happened? It feels like a therapy session. So be prepared for that. And it looks like, even though there may be a lot of emotions, there may be a lot of things that you haven't wanted to confront before, you are ready, willing, and able to confront them now. But you'll be able to sleep after this without assistance. And I keep losing track of my days, so bear with me, guys. And this is for Saturday, for the last day of the week. Whatever ideas that people may have used against you, whatever tools they may have used against you. Sorry about that. It can't get any worse because I can't use them anymore. What ideas, what tools, what methods that they used against you, you are now able to take those tools out of your bag, take those ideas out of your head, and use them to understand why they were using them against you and why you saw them as weapons. Why it seemed like they were using them as defensive weapons against you whenever it wasn't your fault. And it wasn't yours to fix. And we're going to go ahead and pull the final card because that is appropriate. The final card wrapping up the week is is the Devil in reverse, and I love this card. I love the Devil card. I don't get along with Capricorns that much, but Sagittarius, this Capricorn or this Devil that's coming up, I read him as, are you categorizing things the way that as they are or as you want them to be? Are you seeing them as they are without your opinion, or are you painting them with an opinion and expectation that they're not meeting and then being disappointed? This is very likely the card that is going to tell you that, especially with the Ten of Swords in reverse, that the expectations or the assumptions that other people have colored you with, that they have put on you, is not your responsibility to meet. It's not reality. And just because they say it's your problem, it's your responsibility, it does not mean that it is. It wasn't your job to... I'm sorry, this seems like this is a therapy spread, but it was not your job as a child to protect your parents. It was not your job as a young adult to support your parents' bad habits. It wasn't your job as a young adult to provide everything for them and support them and support their bad decisions. And it's okay for you to detach from them. It's not your job now to support any of that for them. And it's not your job to be responsible for what either they did to you or what they allowed to happen to them. And it's okay to detach from that previous person, that previous version of you that didn't have a choice, but to make decisions that if you had a choice, you wouldn't have made. And even though it says lack of will on the card, I'm going to disagree with that, because with the Devil in reverse, you're not being distracted from you're not being distracted by the connection that you have with someone. You're starting to see them not for what they wanted you to see them as, but their actions for what they are. And this is going to end up giving you freedom. And it's probably freedom that you haven't felt before, Sagittarius. So, even though it's a little scary and it may make you the enemy to somebody else, it's perfectly fine to take your life back and find the self-control and not allow other people to have these like unnecessary expectations of you that they feel that you need to fill, because likely they're not even thinking through their expectation. It's just a knee-jerk, slack-jawed reaction to, oh, well, this happens for this person in this situation, so you should do that for me too. Like, they do not have the relationship that we have, and no. So, and it's very likely that they do not have a problem meeting that need for themselves. They don't need to get it from you. They just want to see if they can get you to do ridiculous things for them so they can get their way. But Sagittarius, I'm going to leave you there with a 30-minute reading, and apologize for the length of it, because this feels like this was just a long little therapy session for, I don't know. if this helped you out, please ensure that you like and subscribe to the channel so you can get some more if this is what you like. And if you don't like this reading, hopefully you like another reading. If this did not work for you, please try your sun, moon, and rising sign. And if you are looking for the other signs, they will be up tomorrow. I just don't have time to finish them tonight. So you have a good weekend or week, Sagittarius, and remember, no one knows you as well as you know yourself, and you do not need to believe the lies that other people tell you about you. That is their problem. And they can sit over there with whatever they want to believe or think that they know. So you have a good week, and remember, you are you, and nobody can tell you who you are.